What's going on, everyone? Let's talk about another stock today. But before we go into stock, let's talk about my requirement for my dividend paying stock. So, number one, it has to pay dividend. Number two, it has to be a good growth stock. And number three, it has to, guess what, be financially stable. Now, before we get into which stock it is, and since y'all know my requirement, what is a dividend paying stock? A dividend paying stock is a stock that pays you money for having ownership in it. So they just give you part of the money of the profit or gross revenue and they pay it back to the stockholder. So, what stock am I going to talk about today? It's a pretty simple one, and it's going to be, guess what? Best Buy. It's going to be Best Buy. Now, why am I looking at Best Buy? Well, first, it's because I'm trying to diverse my portfolio. And second is I never thought about investing in a Best Buy and I haven't looked at the numbers. So I wanted to look at Best Buy and see if they're worth investing in. So if you don't know what Best Buy is, they're a store that sells electronics and home goods, and they mainly stick with the best is the electronic field, and they have a bunch of smart things there. But is it worth buying? Because the issue with Best Buy is been around for a while, and where's their growth at? And do they actually make money? So if you don't know what Best Buy is, you can do your own research on it. Best Buy is just a store to me. So let's look at Best Buy. I like using MSN because it's easier platform for me to use. So my first criteria, does it pay dividend before I move forward? Yes, it pays a 4.27%, and that's a pretty high yield dividend being at 4.27%. So let's look at it year to date. It's up 12.47%, which is not bad. It is up 1 year. It's up 12.21%. So you would have about, if you do year to date, you'll be up about 16%. 1 year, you'll be up about, another 16%. Now, 3 year mark, that is the issue I am seeing. 3 year mark is actually in a negative 13%. 5 year mark, it's up 1.17%. Which, me looking at that, it looks like it is pretty much flatlining now. And it's stagnant. So let's look at the finance. Personally, it doesn't look like it's going to grow anymore from, and it doesn't really meet my second criteria. But let's look at it further in. Maybe I'm missing out on something. There might be a reason why, and it might be a good time to jump in because it might be a good opportunity to invest in them. So, finance wise, it's dropping in revenue in the last 2 years. Interesting. Before 2022, it was increasing, and now it's dropping. And that is not good. So I don't see growth based off of this. It looks like they're losing profit share or market share in the industry. So let's look at their profit margin, because a profit margin to me is very important, because if you're not making profit, it's not really worth me buying you, because I don't know if you're going to continue to be able to pay the dividend, especially being a high yield dividend. And this one, the gross profit margin is 22%. For a reseller, I don't like it being at 22%. It kind of seems low to me. I would prefer around be 30%, because of anything could happen. Now, operation expense, I don't care. Net profit is at 2.85%. Now, they look like they're financially sound. They're based off this number that they stay in. But I would like net profit percentage to be higher, at least in the 7th percentile for these type of stocks. Now, let's check out the company. They have 85,000, and let's see what their board members are doing. Well, everyone on their board members looks like they sell their stocks as soon as they get them. Sold. Well, Schwartz, who is this Schwartz guy? Schwartz. No idea. He's not up here. Matthew Billis, Senior Executive of Finance Officer. If a finance officer doesn't want him in the stock, want to be in the stock, make me questions. So let's go back to the summary and see what's going on. So Best Buy, industry average, market cap, and they are saying it's a buy according to analysts. And AI gives this stock evaluation 5 out of 6, health is 2 out of 6, performance 0 out of 6, and earnings 0 out of 6, and growth 0 out of 6. So right now, it doesn't meet one of my criteria in growth. Even AI is saying it's a 0 out of 6. Now, I don't think I'm going to invest in this stock just because the growth isn't there. And based off of insider trading, I don't think it's going to be worth it, even though the analysts are saying it's a buy. You see right here, analysts are saying to buy it, but what growth opportunity do I have in the stock? Whenever it lasts 5 years, it looks like it just hover around 100. It'll go up, hit 100, go back down, go up, hit 100. And let's be honest, storefronts looks like they're dying out right now. So if storefronts are dying out right now, this is a major storefront. They have very big stores. And eventually, hopefully I'm wrong on this, but they might be started to close stores like Big Lots or some of these other big retailers. And it seems to be a trend. And just based off the numbers and how Amazon is taking over the market share, I don't think Best Buy will be around the next 50 years. I really don't think so unless they come out with something major. So, just my personal opinion. Now, should you invest in this stock? Personally, no. Why do I think? So, my personal opinion on this stock of Best Buy. Should you invest in it? No. My personal opinion. The reason why you shouldn't invest in it. One, I don't think it's going to be around for the next 50 years. With all these big lots selling, or all these storefronts are closing down and can't keep them open, and corporations aren't making it, I don't think this one's going to be a good place to put your money. And then another reason why is because they are looking like they leveled out. And what do I mean by leveling out? It looks like it's just going to hover in the same range, back and forth. So there's no growth opportunity for me. Yes, they pay a 4-point-something% dividend yield a year, but I also want to see at least a 7% year-over-year growth. So with the 7% plus 4%, it'll give me a good 11% growth. Now, since I want a good growth stock, I want a more of a 10, 11, and 12, and so it can grow steadily over year. And the other reason why is they are losing sales. And that's just based off their track record, because they are making less and less every year in the last 2 years. So if they're making less and less money in the last 2 years, you're going to start seeing financial hardship. Why? Because they have a lot of employees. And with their insider trading and almost all those stocks they're selling, it doesn't give me confidence that the executives are gonna hold on to the stocks because of the value and help cause the value to go up. Because if the exec's selling 100,000 shares, it's gonna take someone to buy 100,000 shares to match them. So it's going, someone sells it, someone has to buy it, or the price is gonna decrease. So it's gonna cause a stagnation if they have a large amount of stock selling all the time. The stocks that you want to do is to purchase is the ones that the stocks don't sell often. Now people will always sell their stocks, but you want to purchase stocks that more people buy it than sell, because it'll cause the price to go up. And just based off the numbers of the finance, yeah, they're stable, but they could start losing money next year or year after because their profit range is only 2%. You know, one store getting robbed, they could lose $1 million, $2 million worth of items, and guess what? They could be in the negative. So we don't know what's going to happen with Best Buy, because Best Buy is electronics, and a lot of people buy their electronics online. So I'm not going to purchase it because I don't see a future in Best Buy. Now, it doesn't mean it's a bad stock. It's just I personally don't think there's going to be a future in it. So, like and subscribe to my video.